Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, Isis, Imitation of Life. The Goddess Next Door helps a young black girl overcome racism during the era of Jim Crow in this Golden Age Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Imitation of Life in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. As I was packing the boxes for my family's move from Morrisania to Parkchester, I was crunching the numbers for the ISIS graphic novel. And I'm definitely going to have to do an Indiegogo if I hope to have enough money to pay for the first ISIS graphic novel's publication. Now, when it comes down to publishing paperbacks, it doesn't usually cost that much because you're just working by yourself. I primarily do most of the writing, most of the editing, and I usually just outsource to an artist like a Bill Walko or a Mike Williams or a Drew Swift to design the cover. But for a comic book, I need to be a part of a team and I need to have enough money to pay all the members of the team. And I definitely want to hire Bill Walko to do the art for the ISIS graphic novel because Bill has done an amazing job on all of the ISIS and E-Steam series covers. People just love his work, and I love his work because it's just so bold and dynamic, and it really just puts a smile on everyone's face who sees it. And I've always wanted to see what his work would look like in a full comic project, and I believe that he could do a great job on an ISIS graphic novel. And I believe if we work together, we could tell a great story that showcases both my writing and his art. Now, Bill Walko's page rate for a comic is $150 a page, and that's a standard rate for a comic artist working per page. Now, the ISIS graphic novel I'm planning has 62 pages, and that's for both the stories ISIS All That Glitters and the E-Steam No Good Deed back feature. Now, $150 a page times 62 is $9,300, and Bill will be doing the pencils and the inks on the ISIS graphic novel for that cost. Now, after Bill does the art, I have to hire a colorist to color Bill's work. And a colorist usually charges $100 to $150 a page. So minimum, that's $6,200 just to get the colorist to do the colors on Bill's art. And in addition to hiring Bill to do the art, I also have, and a colorist, I also have to hire a letterer to letter the story and make sure that all the word balloons are in places that people can read the story without it obscuring the art, because a letterer's job is to write the word balloons, and they also do the special effects. Now, your letterers usually cost about $50 to $60 a page, so that's about $3,100 minimum for me to hire a letterer. Then after I hire the artist, the colorist, and the letterer, I also have to bring in a proofreader to look over the finished file. So their rate can range from $10 an hour to $100 an hour depending on who I hire. And once I've hired the creative team and they've finished their work, I then have to get the books printed and shipped to all the donors. So that's another couple of $1,000 just to pay for the books to be printed, to pay for the packaging, to ship them, and to pay for the postage. And I definitely want to do something for my international buyers once I do this Indiegogo. So that's also going to cost some money because I have a lot of readers who pick up my work in the UK, in Germany, and all across the world. And I really want to give them a chance to pick up the ISIS graphic novel if we can get this Indiegogo funded. Now, crunching the numbers completely, I'm going to need to raise about $30,000 to publish the first ISIS graphic novel. And again, the reason why the cost is so high is because I have to outsource a lot of the labor. And when you have to outsource labor, it costs a lot of money. Some guys, they can go and they can hire, they can cut their costs because they are the artist, but I have to be able to have enough money to be able to pay everyone, and that's why I need to raise about $30,000 if I want to publish the first ISIS graphic novel. Now, if I can raise more than $30,000, I'd love to set up some stretch goals like a variant cover or a couple of posters and prints for this project. And there are some artists I'd love to work with, like Josh Howard, and I would love to have him do a variant cover if I can get him, if he's available to do the project. He's somebody I've been eager to work with for years, and I'd love to have him on the ISIS graphic novel with Bill Walko. I love their art, and I want to make a great ISIS graphic novel that is something that everybody can enjoy and everybody can share. And the ISIS graphic novel, I really want to make a really great one because you only get one chance to leave a powerful first impression on people, and I want the first ISIS comic to leave a powerful first impression on people. Now, everybody knows I've always wanted to write comics for years, and a lot of people who have read my books say that a lot of my stories are just like comic books. And with this ISIS graphic novel, I want to be able to create a great comic, and I really want to give people the kind of comic I used to read back in the 1980s when I used to go to the grocery store as a kid and then as a teenager to places like Forbidden Planet. I want to give you an old school, all ages superhero story filled with action, adventure, and fun. And with the ISIS All That Glitters story, I want to show you that the classic old school bank robber story is one that can be told today, and it can be told in a way that, again, makes the story be something that's filled with a lot of action, adventure, and fun. And this is the kind of comic that you could just give anybody of all ages. I mean, you could give it to an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old. The story is very family friendly, and the content is very PG. If you've read my ISIS series books, you'll know that I really don't make content that's really too racy or too controversial. It's really old school comic book storytelling, and that's what I want to share with readers with this ISIS graphic novel. I really want to give people a chance to see this graphic novel because a lot of people said my stories are just like comics, and I would love to see one of my stories come to life in the comic book medium. I would love to see ISIS come to life in a comic, because originally, years ago, when I created the ISIS character, I wanted it to be a comic, and I wanted to do a comic for years. And this is a chance for me to really get out here and finally make that comic and present a great comic to readers, because when I look at other YouTubers like Diversity in Comics and Ethan Van Sciver, and I look at Josh Howard, who's gotten their comics out, I want to be able to see if I can get one of my characters out to the marketplace, and I want to see if readers will take to the ISIS character the way a lot of people have taken to the character in characters like John Haynes and E. Steam with the paperbacks, in the same way with the comic book medium. And with this graphic novel, Indiegogo, on planning, I really want to get the small indie bookstores involved and the comic shops involved, and I really want to increase the exposure for the ISIS character with this graphic novel, and I'm hoping that I'm able to do that, but I can only do that with your help, because this project has a lot of costs involved, and it's a very expensive project, and again, I can't get this project off the ground without your support. So the only way I'm going to be able to get this ISIS graphic novel to the marketplace is with your help, and I'm hoping that you guys all come out to help with the Indiegogo, because there's a lot of costs involved with this project. It's something I can't do on my own, and I hope that everybody comes out to support it when I launch the Indiegogo next year. If you want to pick up the ISIS series, you can do so on Amazon.com by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to read the first 10 pages of the ISIS All That Glitter script and the Easting No Good Deed script, you may do so by clicking the links to my blog, Sean James, Black Freelance Writer. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.